welcome to the Warrior's Promise, where we unlock the path to reclaiming your personal power. I'm your host, Victoria Islas, a master trainer, functional health coach, energy healer, and metaphysical practitioner, guiding you through a journey of strength from the inside out. We're going to explore how movement, nutrition, and mindset can help you take back control of your life. This isn't just about fitness or food. This is about healing on all levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's about tapping into your warrior spirit and using that power to face life's challenges with resilience, grace, and confidence. So take a deep breath, stand tall, and let's step into the strength that's already within you. So welcome to the Warrior's Promise. I'm Victoria Islas, your host, and today we're diving into something powerful. Obviously, if you know me, you know me. I'm all about Steel Mace. If you don't know me, you should know that my whole website, Steel Mace Warrior, is about Steel Mace. And so today we're going to talk about how to build both a physical and how to build physical and mental strength using the Steel Mace. Okay, so before I get started, though, I want to talk about how this podcast it's actually like an extension of my older podcast that was actually very, very popular back in 2017 to around, I would say 2018, 19. All I know is that I did about 4 seasons long of that podcast. And what that podcast was about, it was really about the warrior's journey, and meaning, I would invite guests, and they were guests that were like 100 times further in their journey with the Steel Mace. A lot of these guests were trainers, Steel Mace trainers that I reached out to at a time when I was grieving and I needed some strength myself. And I was going through the Steel Mace journey. And so I started a podcast around that time. And in 2017, my dad passed away of cardiovascular disease. So it was a really tough time for me. And I'm forever grateful to all of those guests that went on that podcast with me. Excuse me if you heard the ringer back here. Let me turn this off. And by the way, this podcast, it's going to be me. It's going to be authentically me. So, if I mess up, whatever. I don't care. I'm sure you don't care either. So, I'm just saying, because you're going to hear dings and dongs from my cell phone over here. And I don't really care. So anyways, that was in 2017. And so this podcast is kind of an extension of that. I also didn't feel right continuing on with the Steel Mace Warrior podcast, on my own. I wanted to definitely start a brand new one because that podcast was more about inviting guests, and it just, I don't know, intuitively, something told me, let's just start something new, and so this is it. Okay, so anyways, I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of history on Steel Mace Warrior and just kind of started off that way. But anyways, if you've been feeling stuck, maybe unmotivated lately, this episode's for you. We'll talk about how, the Steel Mace tool, which is a very unconventional tool, doesn't just challenge your muscles, right? It doesn't just challenge you physically, but it also sharpens your mind. So if you're, ready to strengthen your body and your spirit, your body, mind, and spirit, then stay with me because this episode's going to be a game changer. And I mean that from a very personal perspective. Again, I picked up this tool, and I call it a tool because that's what it is. Okay. And at the same time, as you start to use the Steel Mace, it's going to become a part of you. So it's a little bit of both worlds. But, I use the Steel Mace to help me through my journey. And, I'll talk about it in and out throughout the podcast episodes and stuff like that. So you get to know me a little bit more and kind of like my coaching background and things like that. All right. So again, this is what's coming up. We're going to explore how pushing yourself through physical challenges with Steel Mace training can actually help you build resilience in life. So when we use the Steel Mace and it's kicking your butt, you are not just building resilience in your body, but also in your life. That transfers over, guys. So if you've struggled with staying motivated or pushing past mental roadblocks, or maybe there's some type of setback, okay, some type of loss, this episode is going to show you how to embrace challenges and turn them into opportunities for growth. Okay, so let's start off with why the Steel Mace. And by the way, these podcast episodes are going to be super long. I'm trying to keep them below 25 minutes. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I just want to like give you everything, like a big punch of good stuff. Okay. So why Steel Mace? Instead of more traditional workout tools, because you can simply go to the gym, right? You can go to Planet Fitness, get yourself a $10, or I don't even know how much they are right now, but like $9.99, $19.99, gym membership, and you're good, right? Well, the Mace is unique in its design and the demand of level of focus, okay, from this tool. That's what's different about it compared to like regular weights. And then, one of the major things with Steel Mace, it's uneven weight distribution challenges. So what this uneven weight, so if you think about a Steel Mace, it's a long handle, right? With a big ball of weight at the other end. This is going to cause you to use your stabilizer muscles more. You're going to have to control your body more with that mace in your hand. It's going to require you to use your mind and body connection, and all of your nervous system is going to like pump up just to stay fully engaged with every movement. Okay. And there's different ways to engage with the Steel Mace. You're going to see that when you get into this world, so that's what makes it very, very different than your typical traditional workout tools. Even though I use traditional workout tools, I'm not saying the Steel Mace is the only thing I use. I used to be that way, but I've changed my way of thinking on that over the years, just because I got an autoimmune disorder and I needed to build muscle. I still need to build muscle like every day. So again, it's a personal thing. You can use the Steel Mace. That could be your only tool. But I had to change it up because of my autoimmune condition, which I'll talk about, again, in the podcast episodes to come, because this is actually something new that happened in my life. And I struggled with it in the past 2 to 3 years. This is something I struggled with silently, because I didn't really tell anyone, like through my Instagram or through my website. I just kind of struggled with it for a while. And then my sister-in-law became a functional medicine practitioner, and I learned a lot of crazy things. Okay, I've learned a lot, like good things. Okay, about how to alleviate autoimmune disorders, and I'm to a point right now where I'm doing much, much better. Okay, so I kind of rambled on there, but just letting you know a little bit. Okay, so I have to use traditional workout tools because, for example, a barbell and dumbbells and things like that now to build muscle. Okay. But anyways, so unlike typical weight training, where, the motion is more repetitive, the Steel Mace requires constant like mental engagement. You can't just like power through it. Each swing, each rep, it's about precision and like a lot of concentration. And this makes the Steel Mace a perfect tool for building mental toughness, because as your body pushes through the physical work, your mind learns to stay calm, focused, and in control. So I would even say it has helped me a lot through my grieving process because of that type of focus that you have to have. It just helps with that. It balances my mind, my mindset, and it balances my spiritual energy. So more on that later, but definitely one of the reasons I use it personally for like emotional regulation and just my spirituality. Okay. There's something so zen about it, okay? Now, let's go into what is mental toughness. So, mental toughness isn't just about enduring physical pain or challenges. Forget that, okay? It's about resilience, the ability to face your discomforts, whether physical or emotional, with a growth mindset. It's when you're in the middle of a tough situation and your brain is telling you to stop or just give up completely, but you keep pushing through anyways. And I can completely relate to this statement because, I lost both of my parents in the past few years. And those few years actually seem like they've been overlapping, like it overlapped, and it's been very difficult. I don't even want to say it's been very difficult. I'm still going through the grieving process every day. So I understand mental toughness from that perspective. Okay. So when there's a big, huge loss and I tell you right now, like you need to push through, right? Like at least that was my experience. So yeah, I get that. Now, going into the mind body connection. So when you're holding that Steel Mace and you're swinging it through reps, right? So I'm just talking like a 360 swing or a 10-2. Your mind and your body have to work together, period. This builds a powerful connection that translates into real life. The strength that you develop with the mace isn't just physical, it's mental. So the more you push through the challenging reps, the more you're strengthening your mind's ability to push through life's challenges. And I will also say, going beyond the swings, we're talking about complexes, when you're moving into different planes of motions, right? Different, you're doing like, a forward lunge to a reverse lunge. And then you're going to, a side lunge. Like, you're mixing up these exercises, and this is going to build a really, really crazy mind-body connection that you wouldn't even imagine. Okay, so you're going from lunge to side lunge to squats to swings and then you combine all of those, and it creates like very intrinsic patterns. And I've always talked about this in my last podcast, how I loved how the Steel Mace creates patterns. It reminds me of when I make music, because I'm also a songwriter. So it reminds me of when I'm making music and putting notes together, right? Or putting chords together or putting lyrics together. There's always a pattern involved. So I think that's why I like Steel Mace, and I'm also a guitar player. So I always loved that feeling of a mace in my hands. I was very comforting and what's the word? It was just me. Okay. It was just something that matched my soul. So that's me with the Steel Mace on that aspect. So let's talk about turning that physical struggle into mental resilience. So let's talk about like that mindset shift. Okay. So how does training with the Steel Mace build mental resilience? That's a really great question. So it's all about learning how to stay present in the discomfort, okay? And I would say this also happens, with any type of physical training. But there's something, I'm telling you, there's something very, very energetic, okay, very spiritual about the Steel Mace. So when you're pushing through like a tough, set, and your muscles are like screaming, and that's like, they're screaming and you're like, I can't do this anymore. That's when your mind gets stronger and you learn to embrace the struggle, knowing that it's shaping you into a stronger version of yourself, both physically and mentally. Okay. Now, let's not I'm not telling you to like overdo the reps and sets, always listen to your body, always have that body awareness. But trust me, it's kind of like when you're doing burpees and you're in the middle of, your reps, you're screaming inside. So I would say that's kind of like the feeling that I'm talking about. I'm not telling you to do like 1,000,000 reps. Obviously, I would not coach you to do that. But, you get the point. So it has a real life application. So think about how often we face challenges in our everyday lives. Maybe it's a stressful work project, a difficult conversation you have to have, or even a personal setback like we've been talking about. For example, with me, it's been grief. That's been like the theme of my life, I feel. So, when things get tough, it's easy to quit or find some type of distraction. Like I found myself on my phone a lot more trying to distract myself, right? But training with the Steel Mace is going to teach you the power of staying with the discomfort, the power of facing your shadows, okay? And that's something, by the way, I have a book coming out soon and it's called The Warrior Pathways. And I'm going to go into that. I'm going to go into facing your shadows, and I'm going to give you exercises through that book. But it's definitely a theme, again, in my life that I know very personally, and I want to share some tips. I want to share some strategies to stay with the discomfort and to face those shadows. So, it shows you that, you're capable of pushing through when your mind is telling you to give up. And facing your shadows is really going to help you push through. And to not run away. Okay. We're not here to run away. So that's where I'm going to leave it off for this episode. I just want to wrap things up. Again, I don't want to make these episodes too long, but the Steel Mace isn't just a tool for building your physique, right? For building muscles. It's also a tool for building mental toughness and resilience. Each swing, each rep is a reflection of how we deal with challenges in our own lives. When you can push through physical discomfort, you train your mind to push through the tough moments that life throws at you. And again, even in this wrap up, I'm not telling you to put yourself to hurt yourself when you're training. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that during your regular training, there's going to be some type of discomfort, and that is going to train you to push through tough moments in your life. Okay. Now, it's your turn to apply this mindset to your life. Whether you have a Steel Mace or not, I want you to start thinking about how you can embrace challenges in your daily life. Push through the discomfort, stay focused, and build resilience one step at a time. So, if you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave me a review, share this podcast with someone who could use a little extra mental toughness in their life. If they're going through something really harsh, something difficult, this would be a great episode for them. If you want to introduce them to Steel Mace and introduce them to this side of Steel Mace, meaning this perspective of Steel Mace training, let them know. Okay. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Again, my name is Victoria Islas. You can check me out at steelmacewarrior.com. I do have a book coming out. I do have coaching services coming out. So stay tuned for that. Until next time. Okay. Stay strong, stay resilient, and remember that you are, and I'm not kidding. Okay. When I say this, you are a warrior.